Anna Lily Amirpour's 2014 debut feature is a bold and evocative genre-bending supernatural film that follows the life of a teen vampire seeking revenge on misogynistic men in the industrial town of Bad City. One of the first shots of the scene shows the girl, played by Sheila Van, dancing with an absurd and deformed style in her bedroom. With the low-key lighting, the shadows convey the location of this shot to be taken in an underground layer or bunker. The girl's physical and facial characteristics initialize the dark and sinister ambiance to the scene. The location of this scene contrasts the girl's double life, Iranian teen girl by day, deadly vampire by night. Although this is not yet known to the audience, the cracks in the walls, tied together with stereotypical posters of Margaret Atwood and other feminist icons, along with Iranian pop stars, creates a visual metaphor for her alter ego. During this scene, the lazy techno beat is playing diegetically through what looks like a stereo. The song is called Dancing Girls, that has both Iranian and English lyrics. The lyrics say, just a normal girl dancing to her favourite song. This lyric highlights the character's possible identity crisis, although the audience does not yet know of her supernatural attributes, and would be viewing this scene as a classic coming-of-age film noir-inspired film. When the girl then rests to apply black gothic style eyeliner and red lips, conveying the potential blood of her next victim, although viewers assume she is getting ready for a night out. In the start of the movie, we are introduced to the DJ, played by Paige Fadat. Up until this point, he is seen as a drug-dealing, misogynistic thug who doesn't have a conscience. In this scene, the girl has her first interaction with the DJ, as they pass each other on the street. The DJ is covered in facial tattoos that are both Iranian and English, and he walks with a macho presence and a cigarette in hand, with gold chains hanging from his neck. With the seedy nightlife mood being provoked by the bokeh lighting and the close-up of the dangerous man, the drama and crime genre conventions are developed, as she seems like an innocent teenage girl who is walking home alone at night, passing a sleazy man. Genre conventions of crime and spaghetti western are then heightened when the DJ stops and turns around to find the girl standing opposite him, through clues like the street sign in the background warning the public of J'adore-draped ghosts, as well as there being no dialogue and the scene being primarily focused around the setting and mysterious interactions. The conventions of crime are tapped into. An obvious convention of Western films is the standoff, where two characters are opposite one another with distance between them, preparing to fight. This is commonly used in Anna Lily's films. Throughout the film, there are times when the girl stands opposite to another character with significant distance, allowing for focus shifts, a common camera technique of film noir. Whether the character is a victim or a friend, it helps to create tension and highlight a character's vulnerabilities. This style heavily relates to a convention of spaghetti western films. As the DJ approaches the girl and assumes she is a prostitute, the use of an over-the-shoulder high-angle mid-shot presents the girl to the audience as an intimidated and innocent girl. The location then changes in the next scene to inside the DJ's home. The narrative up until this point conveyed the DJ to be a gangster who is involved with drugs and prostitution, developing an alarming and unsafe environment for the girl to be alone in. The DJ's home is messy and reflects a bachelor's way of living, with animal rugs and pleather furniture. The room is filled with shadows and low-key lighting, creating the reoccurring chiaroscuro lighting technique that is drawn from conventions of film noir and is heavily used throughout this film. This lighting effect creates an environment of mystery and uncertainty, along with unknown territories, such as the DJ's house. The darkness and dreariness of the lighting also signifies the themes of death and disorientation, which come to light later in the scene. The DJ then puts on some heavy techno and sits down and ingests lines of drugs and lights up a cigarette while counting wads of money. As this is going on, the girl is standing at the door, observing her surroundings. The low-angled shot of the girl makes the audience feel as though she has dominance over the DJ. It seems as though, through the girl's painfully blank face, like she is calculating his next moves. The DJ then turns the music to a more emotive and sensual tune and starts to pump weights as the girl continues to look over him. The slow and evocative pace to the start of the scene is heavily contrasted when the scene's pace flicks a switch and becomes harsh and demented, highlighting the film's avant-garde quality. After trying to entice the girl by offering a line of drugs and dancing provocatively in front of her, the girl then explores the room. The atmosphere in the room is similar to an after-hours poker club. Smoke fills the room while mellow techno-diegetic music hums in the background, and a sense of not knowing what will happen next looms. The girl makes her way over to the drum set quietly. This is her first movement away from the door. As she taps the chime attached to the drum set, the DJ looks at her. This is her first physical presence made in the room. It creates a moment of reality in the scene. The chime of the drum set breaks the mood the DJ is trying to create through his music, drugs, and smoking. The echo the chime makes intensifies the eeriness of the scene, although it entices the DJ to move closer, almost like the DJ takes this as a calling from her. The silence between the DJ and the girl is a technique that allows for the tensions and intrigue to grow. In this scene, the silence speaks volumes. The DJ makes his way over to the girl, looking like a testosterone-driven teenager, and turns her around to face him. As she slowly spins around, an over-the-shoulder close-up of the girl's face is shown. The relevance of the genre horror starts to dissipate during this scene. Conventionally, in this scene, the girl would be showing signs of anxiousness or panic. In this moment, the girl is straight-faced and looking deeply into the DJ's eyes, making the audience question whether she is in fact a prostitute. The shift in power then strikes as the girl releases her fangs. The DJ is cautious and backs away. The girl's face is still stagnantly blank. The girl then lifts the DJ's hand back into her mouth. As she seductively sucks on his finger, she deadlocks his eyes. The girl then slowly bites off his finger. In a conventional horror piece, there are jump scares, disorientated shots, and fast-paced editing, whereas this scene is painfully slow. When the girl bites off the finger, the film's themes and narrative directions shift. The narrative up until this point was a genre-bending, edgy teen film. Within seconds, the essence of the film is changed to a vampire feminist thriller. This unique narrative style pays homage to Anna Lily Amirpour's unique individual style as a screenwriter and director. The girl slowly pulls the finger out of her mouth as the DJ is screaming. Her ulterior life has now been unveiled to the audience. As the girl pulls the finger out, she grins slightly at the sight of the DJ howling in pain. Character and narrative conventions of thriller films usually follow male protagonists who seek to repair the equilibrium. The antagonist is known to have a hidden identity and take revenge on people who have wronged them. This film shows numerous connections to the genre of thriller, as its use of low-key lighting, it's shot in black and white, and conventional camera techniques, but narratively, the character conventions are swapped. The protagonist is a female who has a double identity and seeks revenge, and the antagonists are males who have done sinful things. This highlights Anna Lily Amirpour's feminist angle on the film and her ability to mix and match as many genres as possible. The scene continues with the DJ scrambling to the back of the room, trying to get away from her, as she walks at a lumbering pace towards him, a classic horror convention of the killer walking slowly towards their prey as the victim tries to run away. The girl then tries to put the DJ's finger in his own mouth, developing themes of torture and mutilation. She then feasts on his body, and she bites into his neck. The diegetic sounds of bones crunching and blood sucking helps the girl's physical supernatural powers to be portrayed to the audience through another sensory. The next shot shows a character the audience has already met, called Arash, played by Arash Marandi. His appearance resembles the 50s heartthrob James Dean with the leather jacket, cigarette placed in the ear, and pompadour hairstyle. He notices that the DJ's car is parked outside his house and tries to call the DJ. Meanwhile, the girl has taken off the DJ's watch and is roaming around his house. The DJ's phone rings and cuts to Arash calling him outside the apartment. As the girl sifts through the DJ's collection of CDs, her character's somewhat sociopathic or supernatural tendencies are brought to light as she is showing no remorse. The scene music shifts from diegetic to non-diegetic after the attack. A slow-paced drum roll with soft acoustic guitar plays. The music fades away when the shot switches to Arash. The camera is positioned and focused at a mid-shot of Arash while he smokes a cigarette. As the girl walks down the stairs into the frame, the focus shifts to the girl, putting emphasis on their first introduction and highlighting the girl's vulnerabilities. As she walks down the stairs and opens the gate to leave, the DJ's blood still around her mouth. They maintain eye contact with no dialogue spoken. The girl's dual identities within the space of 2 minutes have met. Her vampire and teenage lives have been exposed to Arash. This section of the film is a pivotal point in the narrative. The audience is introduced to the girl's alter ego and core themes that continue throughout the narrative. At the beginning of the scene, the title, "A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night," is assumed by the audience to mean that the female protagonist may be a victim of a sexual assault. When the scene concludes, the audience understands how the title is supposed to be intended as a warning of the girl who walks home alone at night.